It looks like a pro. Keep going. That's it, nice and easy. Hey, Hal, we're gonna be out of a jump soon. All right, a little more, Sarah. That's it. That's it. 1, 2. Sarah? Oh, God. Sarah!
Ah, yes. Traversing between two cliffs via rope and harness is always a dangerous endeavor, and that's no different in Atari 2600 Rock and Rope. Welcome, it's me, your boy, Paul Maxey, with another review of Atari 2600's Rock and Rope. And even though I'm on vacation, I never quit working. As a matter of fact, I got time to play Atari. I play Atari in the morning, I play Atari at night, play Atari in the afternoon. It makes me feel alright. And if you think that was corny, I was really going to use Masturbate or Jack Off in the place of that song. But I went with Atari because I got class. Ha ha ha. Speaking of class, rock and roll, or rock and rope, really is kind of called that because I threw in a little music that, you know, is supposed to kind of sound like rock and roll. And one expert on rock and roll is Gene Simmons. And in this interview, in Bass Player magazine, see the rock and roll music? Gene Simmons defined rock and roll. The definition of rock and roll is cock and balls. The definition of rock and roll is cock and balls, says our man Gene Simmons. So, if anything, rock and rope is actually cock and rope. Well, I'll tell you, I'm here to tell you that I like rock and rope for Atari 2600. It plays really well, and you got your man, and you were definitely trying to traverse these levels. I remember when it came out in the arcade at a time that was a little bit later in the heyday, but still in the heyday. I think all of us were very intrigued by rock and rope, and I think a lot of us also, may not have loved it, but were intrigued by it because, let's face it, anything that kind of reminds you of Donkey Kong, the challenge of trying to climb up something, and the reward of finding what happens when you get there, and then seeing if there's another level, that's a very good gameplay mechanic. It's a different kind of gameplay mechanic. Usually it's a more slower and calculated type thing, and not just blasting away, which can lead to frustration. Now, your main enemies are pretty dangerous. You see these guys right here? They will come after you, and they sure as hell remind me of a certain enemy.
Watch out! Watch out, Dad!
That's right. The sleeve stack. Look at those sleeve stack. So watch out for those sleeve stack in your adventures. And you will... What's impressive about rock and rope is... Well, I don't know about impressive, but there's more than one level. I can promise you that. Would you believe there's more than 2 levels? I'm here to tell you that there are. And so when you want to launch your rope, instead of just pushing the button, you push the button and you push up. And that kind of changes your rope's angle. But be very careful, because the whole thing about this game is these bad guys right here, they will try to make you fall. And that's a pretty bad thing to suffer. You'll shake your rope, and when you fall, it is not a good thing. Yeah, that's what happens to your guy. Rock and Rope gives you a bonus for getting to the top of the screen. Look at that bird right there. It's pretty good. It has that little bit of a Pac-Man element in the sense that you got those flashing things that kind of serve. You give them a little bit of a flashlight, and much like the Slee Stack in Lands of the Lost, oh, you see that I took a fall. The flashlight will kind of jam these guys up, and it's a little bit like the Slee Stack in Land of the Lost.
Quick, come on, get going. Come on, get out of here.
You can get those little monsters off your back. So it's a good game. The only reason I didn't review it sooner is I didn't really have didn't know really what kind of film footage I could plagiarize. To make this game fun the way I like to do it. Well, let's just go with a tried and true. Are you ready? So that's Rock and Roll for Atari 2600. I'm sorry I didn't show you the screen too, but I'm too busy with my theatrics. Stay tuned for other reviews, maybe a part 2, because rock and roll is cock and balls. So you got the cock, now it's time for the balls. Talk to you guys later. Have a good night.